Ugh.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of Was That in Good Taste? My name is Chandler Phillips, and with me as always is our dearly beloved bartender,
James Beery.
And today we're going to be talking about wellness, but actually more we're talking about unwellness as we try some delicious unwellness cocktail shots and talk about the our goals, our impressions, and just like the things going on around the whole wellness movement and all of that. Before we get into it, like, comment, subscribe,
Or else.
Or else what?
You'll find out.
So starting us off, we're going to be talking about this fun concoction that we whipped up that honestly, I was having a little sniffles earlier this week, and I wanted to take a little something to kind of clear up the sinuses. And I thought, carrot, ginger, turmeric, cayenne.
A wellness shot.
A wellness shot. Funny enough, I don't know if I ever told you this story. A few months ago, I was at the train station. I had the sniffles and a little cough because I do cough-inducing recreational things. And this honestly, she kind of came off as cantankerous at first.
Ornery?
A bit ornery. Like she was having a conversation through me. Like older lady, having a conversation through me to either someone down the bench or she was on the phone or something. And I kept on thought she was talking to me, and she was like, "I'm not talking to you." I'm like, "Okay, fine. Do you want to?" And guess I'm not worth talking to. And as I was coughing and futzing about, she then turns to me and goes, "Ginger, turmeric, coriander, garlic." That's it. And
So a curry?
and having just been told that she's not talking to me, I didn't respond. And then she goes, hey, for that cough, ginger, turmeric, cayenne, garlic. I'm like, okay. And she's like, do that and we'll get rid of that cough in no time. And I was like, okay, crazy lady. But I did go home and I found like one of the wellness shots that was a pre-made thing with carrot, ginger, turmeric, cardamom. It didn't have garlic, but it did have lemon juice. And it did help a little bit. Like I don't think it cured me, but it definitely helped a little bit. And so for a moment I was like, oh, there's really something to this whole wellness thing. And that's the inspiration of our cocktail here today.
Let me put some liquor in it.
Let me put some.
Well, I wasn't feeling that well, and so I thought to myself, let me have something healthy. That was okay.
And that was
Let
good.
me put some liquor in it.
Well, the thing, I don't know if you've heard about this. I was at a bar recently, and someone was saying that tequila is actually one of the, I guess healthiest isn't the right word, but like the most.
It's because
It's the best.
it's because
alcohol
corn. It's because corn is all sugar. It's because rum is often made from molasses,
Oh yeah.
right? So,
But what about vodka?
oh, that's the thing. That's why people who often drink, who try to be fit, they drink vodka sodas. That is the default drink. It's
vodka sodas?
Yeah, vodka sodas. Absolutely. I'm not saying tequila's not, but vodka sodas I know are one that are popular. I think it's because it's relatively low in carbohydrates.
It's low in carbs, low in calories.
Yep.
And it has a lower glycemic index than other sugars because it's made from agave or agave nectar. it also rarely, if you're getting good tequila, it rarely includes any sort of preservatives or artificial colors or just like any sort of random additives that may upset your tummy. And then lastly, the acidity, it has a relatively low pH level, making it a little bit easier on the tummy, especially for those people suffering with GERD.
Oh, that's interesting because I have noticed that tequila by far is less acidic on the tongue.
Well, and that's why tequila is the official drink of Brat Summer. If you're familiar with GERD and the corresponding acronym BRAT of bread, rice, applesauce, and then what's the T? What's the T? There's a T that...
Coke. I don't know how, but
no, this is if you have GERD. If you know, like,
if you have GERD,
there's like
everything is romantic. Everything's romantic. You got to go 360 to those club classics. And if nobody understands, the sympathy's a knife.
But it's foods that have a lower acidity index in order to reduce inflammation of the stomach lining as a result of stomach acids.
I'm a brat.
You're a brat. You're living that
obsessed.
brat lifestyle.
I have no tummy issues, but I have literally had dance parties inside of this room. I go live. I turn the lights off. I put the colors behind me, and I dance. It's brat.
It's that actually sounds really fun.
It's brat.
Okay, wait. I got the official acronym.
What's the official acronym?
Bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast.
Toast. Oh, that sounds...
So I was kind of right with bread.
Yeah.
But I just had it in the wrong spot because bread is toast. But not all toast is bread.
Not all bread. Whoa.
Anyway, so James, we did a little bit of tinkering with this cocktail beforehand. What was your initial opinions, thoughts, feelings, and what have you about like just the concept? Because I kind of threw.
I jumped on it immediately. I don't know. I've been more open recently, just deciding like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to jump in. I'm going to enjoy, and I'm going to try to just see how things go. I saw things that I like. I saw the carrot, vitamin A, right? I saw the ginger, vitamin. I don't know. They say it's healthy and it has a pungent taste, and I like it. So
it's got antioxidants.
Oh yeah. 1/100th of things. Yes, that's nice.
It's
cayenne.
It's a superfood.
Cayenne
is also one of those anti-inflammatories.
And tequila,
as we previously discussed. If you're gonna get drinking, it's
turmeric, which is why this is stained now.
What's the deal with turmeric? What?
Well, like, turmeric is. This is okay. Here's the thing, right? Turmeric.
I'm looking at.
I'm saying it right now. They're gonna say anti-inflammatory. They're gonna say all those things. The reality is that you would have to endure your entire body weight's plus worth of turmeric in order to get any significant, lack of inflammation. Eat better. Take care of yourself. Get sleep. Do moderate exercise. And you'll be fine. You don't need turmeric pills. Okay. I guess I'm jumping the gun here. You don't need little shots. 1/1000th of ginger is gonna help you. You ever get a gummy bear? That's like a multivitamin or something like that?
Like a Flintstones gummy?
Yeah, I'm asking you a question, right?
Yeah.
So the vitamins have to go into the gelatin and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So why are they so small? Because you know how much stuff is in the pill. They can't take out the size.
What do you mean they can't take out
the
size?
So the powder, like the actual stuff, by volume, right? And a pill is like this big, and a gummy bear is like the same size, if not smaller.
That's why you got to have like a fistful of them, right?
So where?
How many?
Because they sell these things at high cost.
How many Flintstones gummies do you eat in a sitting?
The whole jar. Anyway.
Exactly. So you get an entire day's worth of vitamins.
I'm going off
and
on
minerals.
wellness culture. This is delicious.
But
This is refreshing. You know what?
what about like supplements?
I said everything. I'm wrong. I said everything I just said. I'm wrong because I feel healthy because I just had this.
Because this is delicious. It opens up your sinuses. It makes you feel good inside. And then later might make you feel not so good inside. It is a diuretic. Well,
I mean, as there's coffee and many other things.
Yeah, that's citrus juice.
If you have no citrus juice,
if you have what? No citrus juice,
then you'll have issues.
Oh yeah.
It's like people who go to Chipotle one time and they're like, "Oh, my tummy hurts." You don't eat beans ever? When was a lot? You never had beans? The food is so weird.
You never eat beans before?
You didn't get beans. All you didn't even get rice. All you got was meat and sour cream.
Oh, meat and dairy is the winner's recipe for gut health. If you want to both have the runs and be constipated, meat and dairy, baby. That's what America's built on. It's honest. It kind of is. Because like, if you think about it, if you only are given certain allotted times to poop, it helps to be both constipated and have diarrhea. So that way it's kind of like everything runs through you and then you just have one immediate expulsion of everything. And
that's not,
it's efficient.
What? That's not how that works.
Yeah.
What is happening here? Diuretics cause your lower intestine to loosen, and the stuff that's already been processed.
That's what coffee's for. So hear me out. You go to bed, you have a big old steak with a bunch of cheese and maybe some beans.
What kind of cheese? A bunch, right?
A bunch.
Cheddar, provolone, Havarti.
Government issued. Like whatever.
Whoa.
Yeah. Is it whatever? This is the American dream. You are eating whatever
Brie?
cheese. Well, of course, brie.
Gouda.
Oh. Okay, I'll do a smoked Gouda.
Cheddar, and cheddar. No, cheddar, and cheddar.
I'll do.
Cheddar is the processed cheddar.
Oh.
White cheddar. Irish cheddar. Vermont cheddar.
What? Vermont gets its own cheddar now? Get over yourselves. Your state's like the size of, I don't know, New Hampshire.
That's the opposite of wellness.
Oh, yeah. I shouldn't be talking about... Do you know maple syrup has like wellness associations?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Everything is wellness.
And that's why I jumped the gun, because it's hard, because if you actually look at like food science and health science, unless you are so deficient that you are hobbled often, you don't need multivitamins unless you have a what is it called? A deficiency.
An anemia?
You know what I mean? If you literally don't have a deficiency, you should not be taking a multivitamin. For what?
What about like when you get older and you just need to like,
but then you start developing deficiencies.
Yeah.
You're not 20 years old.
Well, how do you
needing to starve yourself?
Know when you have
go to the doctor.
How do you know that you're getting all your essential vitamins and minerals?
Go eat a balanced diet. Don't eat another potato chips. Eat a vegetable once in a while. Eat some fucking fiber.
In this economy, have you ever like accidentally had way too much of a supplement and just kind of been a little wrecked the rest of the day?
No.
What?
Because I'm gonna say some shit. It's because I both have always known and have been educated about supplements, but also every 4 years I go to Target and I go, maybe I should get one. And then I buy a bottle and then I look at it and I'm like, why did I buy this? Because literally, if you read the ingredients, and it's like, if you eat a meal, it's like, okay, if you're the person sitting there like, well, I don't get, that is not you. If you're the person who needs vitamin D, guess what though? Don't take a multivitamin. Take vitamin D. You don't need a multivitamin. If you have an iron deficiency, don't take vitamin C. What is a 2-pill Centrum Silver with 700 milligrams of vitamin C gonna do for you?
It'll give you the runs. I'll tell you that much. I tell you, I'd taken a couple, like 3 too many vitamin C capsule or tablets, and Oh, buddy.
I'd rather chew too much gum.
That'll
give you diarrhea.
Chewing too much gum will give you diarrhea?
Yeah.
How? Oh,
It's the sugar-free stuff.
Oh.
Like eating the sugar-free gummy bears. It's the because if you eat like a whole pack.
Is it specifically like the thing that they use for sugar-free stuff?
It's that particular one, the one that starts with the E. It's not bad for you, but if you just consume a lot of it, so like there's like the Haribo sugar-free gummy bears.
Yeah.
There's a 5-pound bag on Amazon, and there's a bunch of funny reviews that are comically taught because they don't realize, and then they get the sugar-free and they eat like half a bag or more, which by the way will hurt your stomach if it's sugar.
Wait, is it Haribo or is it?
No, it's Haribo. It's Haribo. No, it's Haribo.
Black Forest ones.
It's Haribo. But they do have sugar-free Haribo Black Forest ones that have the same issue.
Yeah.
But it's the Haribo ones because they sell like a 10-pound bag, and people will get it and eat 5 pounds, which will hurt your tummy if it's sugar also.
Yeah.
But if it's sugar, it'll just hurt your tummy and maybe make you nauseous. And I think if it's the sugar-free stuff, it gives you diarrhea. Unwellness.
Listen, there's sometimes there's a price to flying too close to the sun.
Okay. So here's a question, right? Before we jump in proper, I have to ask you, what is the absolute most not too serious, unwell period of your life? I'm gonna give you my example. Okay. When I was like 23 and I was in college, I used to always like go to this place that's closed now called Neutral Ground. It's like a trading card shop. And my friend Mike, he worked at a McDonald's. And I was homeless. I used to always go to him and he would give me like the food. And one day they did a promo where it was like you buy 5 or was it 6 value meals, you get a free one. So he would he stole a stamper, he stole a book, he stamped them, and he would trade them for Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But I was his friend, so he gave them to me. So every day I ate 3 double quarter pounder because it was just a value meal. It was just one value meal.
Okay.
And the most expensive, most filling is a large double quarter pounder with cheese meal. You couldn't get the bacon one. And so I ate every day for like a month, 3 of those. And I couldn't even walk up the fucking stairs.
Wait, you were just huffing and puffing?
I was like,
yeah, that's rough. That's real
that's
rough, bud.
the most unhealthy I've ever been.
Oh, okay. So wait, are you talking about unhealthy or unwellness?
Unwell. I'm gonna be honest.
That sounds unhealthy.
It was a mixture of both.
All right.
Well, isn't wellness tied with health as well? Isn't that the whole thing? Because wellness,
health is wealth.
Isn't that the thing though? Because like wellness is, real wellness would be, pardon me, it's probably going to a therapist.
Well, to quote Harvey Danger, I'm not sick, but I'm not well, and it's a sin because I'm in hell.
Oh my Lord.
No, okay, so I have 2 answers because one I think better fits unwellness, whereas the other one is just unhealthy. And I think I was at my unhealthiest when I was living in Las Vegas and I was working at a job that comped a lot of my lunches at various places that just had stuff that was delicious and like a lot of buffet kind of stuff, and just I was eating a lot of meals. I was sitting a lot. I wasn't very active. I gained like 50 pounds in maybe 9 months, and that was like my unhealthiest. And then immediately following that, I would say was my most unwellness, because I then was no longer working at the job that was comping my meals, and was instead in a weight loss challenge with some of my friends, in which I did actually lose a lot of weight, albeit probably not through the most wellness oriented means, but like I was my breakfast was coffee, a coffee with high fat kind of organic butter and MCT oil and fiber. And
bulletproof coffee with fiber.
I was doing a bulletproof coffee with fiber, and then I wouldn't eat again until like 5 or 6 p.m. Wasn't drinking at all, but was chain smoking spliffs like
tobacco and cannabis legal in New York
and in Nevada at the
and
time.
Maine.
And California, technically.
Lots of places.
Like, it was generally recreationally legal. But so it was a hunger suppressant. And so I wasn't really I was working at a pizza place and didn't have any carbs, which was fucking insane. Like, I kind of had to disassociate for a bit anytime I was working. And then I wouldn't eat again until like 5 or 6 p.m. And I would have like a can of tuna, no mayo, and like half a bag of baby spinach.
I'll be honest, that sounds good. that sounds like, yeah.
Oh, and also then like 2 spliffs at night, like just to kind of cap it off. Occasionally, I would do a banana or frozen grapes for a dessert, for like a little tasty treat. That was my most unwellness, but it yielded great results. Oh, and then, okay, when the pandemic just started and we were doing the lockdowns and stuff, I was trying to kind of do that again, but then incorporating more like exercise, and then also like enjoying cured meats and I got real into charcuterie. But my bulletproof coffee in the morning was with
I remember that. I remember
infused butter.
Yeah.
And so my bulletproof coffee got me like zooted for the first 5 hours of the day. As far as unwellness goes, it's not the worst.
So that's the thing. That was us. That was in April when we didn't drink. And we had the contest to see who lose the most weight.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because I definitely lost 18 pounds. And it's interesting because you never questioned it, but you watched me weigh myself. And it's because I just wanted to win.
Yeah.
So literally the day before, I literally took first time in my life, I took a laxative.
Oh.
We want to talk about like unwellness. It was interesting.
Did you do milk of magnesia?
I don't know what it was. I went across the street and this got a laxative. But here's the thing: is that
there's so many different.
I wasn't going to kill myself. I'm a competitive person, though. I lost a ton of weight.
I'll shit myself.
This is what I did. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm not dumb as shit. I do not do this. This is bad. This is unhealthy.
Unless you want to win.
I pared back pretty healthily, actually. I replaced some mid meals with just like salads, and I made sure I eat like a healthy, nice dinner and stuff. I tried to make sure I put myself on a schedule. But like 3 days before, like it was a week before, I like ate pretty poorly, and I was like, well, now it's time for me to like cut a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You do a weight cut,
but it wasn't like but like the last 2 days, right before we were gonna weigh in, I didn't drink nothing.
Wow.
I ate. I ate very sparsely.
Damn. That was dedicated. Yeah,
but you know what?
Won, right?
But can I say, yes, I did. But you know what?
What did I win?
I've always nothing. Actually,
did I not?
Actually, you were supposed. Actually, what was supposed to happen?
What happened with
specifically is you were supposed to buy me a bottle of my choosing, but you never did because I never asked for it. That was actually.
I feel like
no. Specifically, it was.
I have bought you a bottle of
you bought
our
us
choosing.
A bottle. You were supposed to buy specifically me a bottle for me to enjoy.
Ooh,
and the budget was $100, but I just never asked for it. But I remembered it.
Well, shit.
Now that's unwell.
That's unwellness.
That's unwell. So You had
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Go.
your show notes. You have some awesome stuff.
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah.
order.
What?
I really liked it specifically because the way that you had everything laid out made me think of like, oh, this is kind of when I think of wellness, and when I think of how I think of it and how I reflect of it. You broke it down kind of similarly.
It's because I'm in your fucking head, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, wait, did we cover the cocktail enough?
I mean,
it's
well,
good.
we're healthy.
It's fun.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna get some tequila. You're gonna put it inside of your health beverage.
Yeah, just get like a wellness shot.
That's kind of the joke.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. I will say, don't do that to earnestly, honestly be like, that's gonna make you healthier.
It's a novelty thing, but it did taste good.
It tastes good.
It tasted delicious,
and it's, by the way, it is slightly better than. Well, first of all, it's way better than soda. Like pure. Like,
yeah.
If you put a bottle of Coke in a glass and put some tequila,
amount of apple juice in it, and we all know apple juice.
Yeah, but the whole bottle is 160.
Soda.
The whole bottle is 160 calories. I looked at the whole bottle is like so insignificant that, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I was gonna do it myself, but I thought to myself that would be more traditional if I juiced it myself, and I was like, that's not really even the vibe, because who wants?
You mean you don't?
When you go out to drink,
juice your organic carrots.
No,
and freshly.
But I make my own
garlic.
seitan, and I've made my own tofu.
Also, I was just kind of like looking up cocktails. That was like, I wanted to know what other people, what are some alternative things than just with tequila, than just doing lime or like citrus juice and something. Like there's got to be more out there than like pretending to make an old fashioned with tequila, because you get the, what is it, Oaxaca old fashions, and those are like, okay, yeah, I get the idea. It's not as good as an old fashioned, or it's just like, here's a variation of a margarita or Paloma, or like, which a Paloma is just a margarita but with grapefruit, and it's a highball version. It's not anything.
I don't know.
Fun.
I don't know. I think that
cool. You think you're out here cool, being like, oh, we're going to brunch, but it's with Palomas.
Now we need to do episode of labels. We have to do episode of labels now, because I think one of the hard things with that is that, like, you know, we say it is the same thing, but it's not.
It's not. It's
because it tastes. I mentioned like Paloma because I think
a Paloma
specifically.
I think it's technically more of a highball than it is a margarita.
I mean, but then what is a high? But it's a highball of Paloma instead.
Because a mimosa is kind of like a
liquors are broken down into categories, and there's certain types, and
because like a Paloma is grapefruit, sparkling grapefruit juice and tequila, right?
Well, it's grapefruit juice, prosecco, and tequila.
It is. It's prosecco, or is that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure.
I think it's club soda.
Can I be real? I mean, I'm pretty sure. No.
Or I might be confusing Bellini, because a Bellini.
A Bellini. Do you think I'm mixing them up? Maybe I might be confusing them. It's because, well, here's the thing about, and this is one of the things I love, by the way, if you do continue to make cocktails at home, which is, you're not going to remember every single fucking cocktail, okay? Even people that I've absolutely 100% worked with, I worked with somebody who worked in like because they helped me open the freaking bar thing for Starbucks, and they worked at like the W and stuff like that, and they don't even remember the cocktails. Everything's on a card. You read the card, you remember the card, you go to work, you execute the card.
Do you have those little like quarterback like little sleeves where it's got like the different things, and you can kind of flip through it, and you can be like, okay, what's the play? Break.
I personally like to go home, rewrite everything up by hand in Google Docs, which is why I have a bunch of docs and stuff like that. And then I just
wait. Did you say I like to rewrite it by hand in Google Docs?
No, I mean retype it, even if it's already typed.
Because I was with you when you said I like to rewrite. I like to have an actual I do like that as well. I live by a notepad,
but that's like it depends what you're doing. When it comes to like the broad cocktail thing, I like usually it's given to you in a book. not online.
That's true.
If it's given to you online, it's in a PDF that you can't copy.
Or you take a picture of someone's menu at a
But
place.
always
That's
copying
always
it.
fun.
I have a few of those. Always copying it, but not
Just
just
admit to plagiarism.
To be clear,
We
for
all
future hold
borrow
on
from
hold on
everyone.
for future us, ain't no cocktail I never take a picture of that wasn't a combination of gin and a juice with like a bitters. Okay, ain't nobody doing nothing fancy. I'm not going through to steal your cocktail. Okay, anyway,
I will. Fuck it.
Please, God,
what are you gonna
fuck
do?
it.
Sue me?
Anyway, look at your show notes. I can't do it. I can't do it. This is a liability concern. I feel like we're gonna get sued by Logan Paul.
What, has he got a cocktail now?
But he's suing people, but he might sue us. I don't know.
I actually got a prime that's made out
Sue
of
us.
carrot juice, ginger,
Please
and
sue us,
bull
Logan.
testicles.
I'll be honest. That's unwell.
That would be.
To be clear, I am unwell today.
Why are you unwell?
Wow.
What's going on, bud?
No, nothing personally. I just made sure that I was unwell in some sort of way.
Oh. So what do you like to do when you're unwell? What kind of wellness activities do you kind of gravitate towards to kind of realign yourself with that of the wellness and positive growth of the universe?
That's actually changed a lot over the years. And actually, I just realized, I just got reminded of something. One of the things that I found lately to be completely part of my wellness plan is we've been going fishing. And it's interesting because in my life, I just realized I hadn't had a lot of friends who were like men or male or whatever the fuck, right? And so I was like, yo, this is like a part of like the new way that I express myself when I'm engaging in being more well. You spend time with your friends, you do things that are fun,
Yeah.
you know, because the things that you think are well, those are the things I realize are actually the most unwell. You feel like you're being well because you want to spend time by yourself. Though those are the things that are actually not as well.
Some of these things that we've kind of developed as like self-care might not actually be caring for thine self.
Yeah, because caring for yourself, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, it's like a combination of many things. It's like your physical health, right? I crack jokes like, supplements, but there's a reason. It's like emotional and physical. And I'm not saying that you have to exercise, but I mean going outside, like physically leaving your home to see something other than the place that you work at or the way that you get home is something that's so significant for the way that you exist, the way that you be well.
So do you think we recently talked about fishing. What aspects of that do you find to be like grounding to kind of fit that wellness that gives you that sort of like it fills your kind of internal cup?
It's interesting because when I looked at the show notes and I saw grounding, I was like, I immediately thought paganism. I immediately thought the covens I was a part of, because grounding tends to be a thing that you do before. Oh my God, whatever. You're learning about the fucking person I've been. It's like the way that you connect before you like cast a spell or something, you know? And grounding generally would engage or involve you with taking off like your shoes, maybe just touching the ground, putting your hands on the ground, like actually connecting with like the world around you.
It's interesting how there's like kind of this spiritual circuitry that happens and it's like alluded to in spell casting or like that kind of stuff. But like there is a sense of communion that happens when you just kind of dig your feet into soil and like you go to the beach, I find that to be one of the most grounding things. Cause like, I don't know, there's a pulse to so many things that you just kind of attune to it. And I think nature is a great way of getting kind of back to that, or at least like actually literally grounding yourself in an electricity sense where you're connected to a larger entity to kind of disperse whatever ambient energy is going on in you.
I mean, people talk about the pulse of the city, right? And I speak of I personally talk about naturalistic things. We're talking about like touching actual fucking grass, but like it's not just that. It's complex. It's people, right? So I like that you mentioned like the pulse, because there's a connection, especially when you're disconnected from being where you go, the city that you're at, or actually physically seeing trees. I get to see that. You get to see it. Some people don't get to see that, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or people get to see it and they're in non-metropolitan areas. People do get to see that. And so the things that they might find more grounding are socially oriented. Whereas like, because society, because everyone's stacked all around each other, that's the overstimulating part. And in order to kind of like take that time to be methodical and contemplative, you need to isolate a little bit just to kind of get right. And
isn't that the feeling though? I think the feeling is like thinking you need to do one or the other. The reality is that like, humans, we're naturalistic. So like touch grass, but also we're highly social. So our city structure, our social networking, our media, those things also can be kind of included in that. It's not excluded.
It's not excluded, but I think there is a form of like that social grounding that comes that when like there's just I've been wanting to have like a little get together or party or something to have that kind of social grounding, to just kind of touch base with friends and people that I haven't been able to touch base with in a while, to just kind of be like to
So I'm not the center of your universe. Gotcha.
You're the center. You're what I revolve around. However, I need to have my own satellites.
But say, where are the satellites?
Yeah. Like, you're the sun, but I'm Jupiter, and I need 36 at least.
At a minimum.
Everything's spinning and revolving and evolving at 100 million billion miles an hour.
There's a million billion universes that we can observe. The universe took them all and put them into one nerd. It's an epic rap battles fucking reference. I don't know what's wrong with me. Judge me.
But no, you're talking about fishing. I'll judge you later when we're not being like open and vulnerable.
By the way, just to be clear, my open vulnerability is totally influenced by Deadpool and watching Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman on Hot Ones. So, I'm pretty shallow.
That's growth, and we'll take it. I find that there are things and there are some practices that can help with grounding. Like you said, fishing is one. I like it because, again, you kind of get into a rhythm of things. You have to have a certain presentism in like feeling what's going on with underneath the water, and it's just a nice way for me to feel also a connection with the people I've been fishing with in the past. But in addition to that, I also think there's some grounding aspects in like having small intimate social functions, because you can have social grounding within your close networks, and then for those kind of instances where you want to just reflect, it's both really helpful, but a symbol or like a signal of like kind of needing to have it. You ever have a sit down shower?
Never.
You never had a sit down shower where you're just like, you're taking a hot shower and you're like, I kind of want to just pop a squat and then just kind of change the dial from like cold to hot.
What?
And like,
I'm worried about you now. People think I'm I just
like, you never just kind of want to kind of have like a little anime kid shower where you're just like, oh, one of these days.
No, but
I'm going to be the best.
No, but I'll stay in the shower for an hour.
Dude, a good hour long shower. But you can stand for an hour?
Always.
You're going to be standing that whole time? Not once. You're just like, okay, what if I just kind of like, it's a bathtub. Okay,
I think I did once. I think I hated it. I remember very distinctly being like, oh, well, and then it's like, I don't like to get my head wet during the shower. I will obviously wet my head, but I don't like to keep it under the shower. And I feel like when you're down on the floor, you're just...
I kind of like that sometimes.
I kind
of like just having the...
It's because you're emo.
Yeah. I also will like just... I like being in the rain, but not like... wet, if you know what I mean.
Okay, I can't. I just went for a 4-hour long walk in the rain. I can't say nothing.
Like, you know, when you find a good tree in the rain that like does a good amount of coverage, but you're like, you see the rain, you feel it. There's like the smell and everything, and it's just like it's just me and this tree, and somehow we're gonna make it through this storm.
Beautiful. I have that actually. It's like that weird feeling of nostalgia. Like, one of the things I do to ground myself, and this is like a favorite, is I have this very strange memory of reading the mixed up files of Mrs. Was it Francis as Frank Weiler? It's like a book about these like kids who like run away and they like go to like the Museum of Natural History and they sleep in there. And they also made a movie about it. And I remember very distinctly reading the book in the rain and also watching the movie with the rain pitter-pattering and hitting the windows. And I always have this thing where when it starts to rain, it's like thundering and like your house is shaking. It's like always a little scary. I like to run to a book. And I like to go into my room
into a book.
And I like to go to the window and let the light from the window like hit the book while I read it. It's like a connection with like my childhood as well as like a little vulnerability, as well as just like it's just like it's like a moment of like,
and you kind of ham it up a little bit.
Yeah, I love it.
Like I love hamming up a nice rainstorm.
Nobody else is around either. It's like when you cook food for yourself and you make it look really nice. Nobody else is there.
Yeah.
I literally grab the book. I like, ooh, I pull my curtains to the side. I'm like,
that's one of the other ones that I was thinking of, because I was talking about doing arts and crafts with my partner, and they're so about the arts and the crafts, but we just kind of have different creative languages, and I think I express mine a lot more through cooking and through putting like thought and effort into my cooking, whereas they'll put a lot more thought and effort into fabric art or beading or like a whole litany of other things.
So you're saying that you should be more like them and less like you?
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm Hugh Jackman and Ryan Dub. I'm too
becoming this. And all I want to do is be more like me, but be less like you. And I know
Wait, this is a song. Yeah. I know this song. Wait, what is that? Wait, what? Wait, what? Why do I know that
It's
song?
Numb. It's Numb
Oh, it is
from
Numb.
Linkin Park.
It is. I was like, wait. This sounds so familiar. Yes.
Yeah, we shoehorned that in there because that's art. That's my grounding activity. Is actually talking in.
Is it music also?
Yeah. Oh, music's a great grounding activity.
Come on, you never put on the song you like and lay in bed, or maybe put on the podcast that you like. Or I was watching.
What kind of podcast would someone put on?
Well, there's always Was That in Good Taste. That's pretty good.
Oh, that's a great. Okay, sorry. Continue.
I was watching Space Ghost Coast to Coast, which is a show I've always liked, but I didn't get a chance to watch the entire show. And in watching the entire show, I'm gonna be honest, I definitely have a hope that no matter what, there's a small group of 100 of you who are gonna be fucking liking us. Because Space Ghost, man, I'm in like season 2. That show was big. They did like a thing for like the premiere of Powerpuff Girls, all this crazy stuff, but some of it's not. That first 2 seasons, at least, it's not good. And I just
not
feel like
good as in like, oh yikes, or as in like
no, it's not. There's no yikes. It's Space Ghost.
It's just
season 1, and it's like, but also the way I have the files organized, I didn't organize them. Maybe season 2 is specials because it's like very strange, but also it's like weird and artistic and avant-garde, and it reminds me in a way of what we do. It's like constantly changing and trying and moving, and watching it just makes me feel like I feel connected to it more and more. It's interesting. It's like I feel grounded with it, and grounding is not just like going back to nostalgic feeling. It's not just feeling warm. It's not just that. Grounding is also like an understanding and a realization of like your current state. Grounding is not going back and hiding. Grounding is like an opening up and a realization and honesty between you and the earth and where you are. And it's like you're sitting there and like I'm watching Space Ghost, I'm laughing, I'm joking. I don't remember what I was saying.
We're talking about
the
Space
camera.
Coast.
I was just saying that I feel grounded. I feel connected. I feel like I'm at reality. What it is that grounding is not just connecting with something you used to like. Grounding is connecting with yourself in a way that makes, so when I watch Space Ghost, I enjoy it, but I'm growing and I'm like, oh, I want to make this. And then I started making, you know what I mean? Like I started making it, you know what I mean? And now I feel like I'm at the beginning of whatever that was. I feel like I'm at the beginning of that for me. And it feels very grounding. It feels empowering. It feels all those things.
I think there is something to be said. There's like these kind of niche personal things that you find grounding. I think it's interesting how there's kind of become not necessarily a industry, but like definitely pop-up businesses that have been kind of not taking advantage, but like there's an interesting dichotomy of of things that seem like they're genuinely trying to help with wellness versus things that are trying to kind of put forth the idea of wellness while just kind of doing things superficially. And
I mean, that's because wellness is different for everybody.
it is different. Like, again, my partner went to a breathing seminar, or like a
oh my God, I love them. I just roll my eyes so hard, and I literally love them with all my heart. And also, I would enjoy it. And I would have fun.
Like a guided breathing kind of, and then like things that are like cathartic screaming or cathartic yelling, like that kind of thing. Where
maybe I should do that.
I don't know, like these kinds of things that there is. I'm not gonna diminish whatever things that they've helped people get through.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I'm worried because it sounds so opening. It sounds so open and like intense.
Like there's these kind of intense seminars that seem like they're very earnest and they're very like trying to help and trying to provide a therapeutic release of tensions, whether it's through massage, whether it's through like guided meditation and like all of these kinds of things. But then it's tough to discern between those things and then the things that are like, we'll read your thetan level.
Well, I think it's because people who are often seeking, because I actually made a video today about the 48 laws of power, TikTok, living_dad_joke. I made a video about it because if you actually look at like what is like, don't trust anybody. It's like manipulate people. Like the core tenets of it are insane, right? But people who are really, really searching for, like really aching for some sort of, what would you call it? Like it's like a word for it.
Solution.
Like a solution. You know what I mean? Like people are looking for help. They need support, and there isn't any, right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to discount it, but like, BetterHelp works for some people, not for all, right? And like people can't just use BetterHelp. People need and people are constantly trying to sell you shots and ideals. And
like it comes with, that's the thing, things that seem like kind of topical solutions or come with like an entire set of beliefs and ideals that kind of prop up, like, I mean, I don't know how good CMOS is, but I know that if I really, really loved CMOS, maybe there's other doctors that I would listen to.
You look like an older Jamaican black guy. like the smoothest skin, the biggest smile.
Maybe I'm not a true Israelite. Maybe I'm not one of the chosen. Maybe,
or is it also the habits that are associated with it? Right? They show those studies that show that black coffee drinkers live longer. But is it that people who want to drink their coffee without milk and sugar like things that are less sweet, so they eat less desserts, and so they're less likely? You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
there are aspects of those things that you don't really consider.
That can kind of be misleading.
That's why the wellness things they're always telling you. They're like turmeric helped, but then if you read the study, it's like the people who did the turmeric also had a multivitamin, and who knows what it was. And
but we already said multivitamins don't do anything.
Well, they do if you're deficient. If you don't know what you're deficient in, and what if you're part of a study for turmeric, and they give you a multivitamin? That's why the studies need to have good. That's why the goals and stuff need to be clear. That's why you need to have things be like what your outcome is, what you're looking for. It needs to be, because this is not wellness, is health, like the Tuskegee thing, right? What the government do. The real thing was they went and they were like, we're just gonna observe this.
The pilots?
No, I know. We're just gonna observe this population, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't track for the fucking what do you call it? The baseline.
Oh, the control.
They didn't track the control. People who got syphilis after, instead of removing them from the control group,
stayed with syphilis.
they just moved them to the other group. So what you're reading about things, or even what you hear, because you hear like, oh, they gave them syphilis. They didn't give them syphilis. They observed them with syphilis.
They didn't give us.
Nope. They observed them, but after the cure for syphilis was found, being penicillin, they didn't educate them about it.
And they didn't just be.
And there's a bunch of stuff around it, which is why when you read studies and stuff, and people tell you and they're trying to sell you their thing, you have to be very understanding because you're like, yo, you got to do this. It's like, okay, so is it the supplement shot? Is it the Dr. Sebi thing? Is it the this? Is it the that? Is it the beginning? Is it the end? When at all.
Well, and then you also kind of consider like when people are able to just kind of have when people are in a position to focus on wellness, they'll also not just do one thing. So like you take it back to the turmeric thing. If you start using a turmeric supplement, it's usually because you're like, oh, I'm in a wellness state of mind. I need to take my turmeric supplement before I go on my morning run or whatever. And so like you said, there's external factors and like people don't just do one thing a day. And so it's difficult to me also to see kind of like I want to believe in traditional home remedies, but I also believe in doctors.
I'm going to break your mind.
Huh?
Every pill you take
Yeah.
is a traditional home remedy. You think that nobody had any kind of pain medicine and then one day they made Tylenol?
What?
No. People found a plant and they started formulating, and then people understood and started.
Let me just go to the orchard and pick some acetaminophen. Okay, fine.
People they learned those things, and those things got turned and synthesized. So acetaminophen is a combination of whatever plants and shit people used to use before to eliminate pain, and then we learned how to figure it out, and now we make it in a pill form. The pills we take, that's what it is. Now, are there things that probably can like help you and stuff? Yes, there are.
Yeah,
but ain't many. It's really not many.
So, like, if I were to say, like, if I were to be like, oh man,
fucking us. We can't sell any supplements in the future, probably.
Like, if I were to be like, damn, my left hamstring is cramping as we speak.
Okay, that's not fair.
Should I have a banana? Or should I take potassium supplements? Or should I just be
banana.
Prescribed some sort of like but
potassium is not just for the hamstring. And if you're in the gym working out like a maniac, doing some weird thing that you shouldn't be doing, that humans don't normally do, then maybe you need a potassium supplement. But as a person who had a potassium over, right, you got to be very careful. When I was younger, you got to be very careful because potassium can affect your heart rate. So we have potassium supplements because people need it. Just because it's on the shelf doesn't mean that you need it. Just because supplement is on your hamstring hurts, why don't you stretch first?
Well, I am stretching.
Did you eat well earlier?
Probably not.
Maybe your diet. Maybe you should improve your diet. It's okay. Guess
I don't
what?
have time to improve my diet.
I mean, you know what?